that is where the extremely heavy rain is coming down. Right now we are looking at a tornado warning, which has just popped up. I'm going to go ahead and switch on over to that, and this is brand new information just coming down. So here we go. Yep, got the tornado warning going, and this is for Camden, Gloucester, and Salem. Pop on in here, Bill. And we are looking at a radar indicated tornado warning. So that is a good thing because it hasn't been seen yet. Nonetheless, a tornado warning is a tornado warning. We're going to go ahead and we're going to switch on our velocity mode so that we can actually get a good idea of what we're looking at the ground. So it'll take just a moment, and that's going to pop up, and we're going to go ahead and swing on over here. And we're going to be actually joining everybody on TV so that we can bring everybody up to date with what is going on with all of this. So, hello, we want to bring you up to date. We do have a tornado warning that is now in effect, and this is for Camden and Gloucester counties. I'm going to go ahead and back up here so that you can see the exact area that is affected. We'll zoom in and you can see right here, and this is going to be until 3:45 today. So the latest is right here, this storm moving through Camden and Gloucester counties. Glassboro, you're right in the line of this storm, and this is moving off to the east. These storms are moving fairly slowly, and this is generally because we've seen several storms merge. So for the most part, what you're looking at right here is this area of concern. Now there's a little hook down here. That hook is not included in this cone. Nonetheless, this possibly has rotation. You see a secondary hook down here. So we could have this kind of hopping around on the line. This could be one of those things where it's been moving up and down the line. But this is the area of concern right now. And so going ahead to draw out perhaps a little bit of a line so you know where it is going to be coming next across your area. We want you to be completely prepared for it. We are going to be looking at, again, Mullica Hill, 313, Wrights Mill at 318. We're looking at Glassboro at 324, Clayton at 326, Robana, you're looking at 333, Williamstown 335, and Victory Lakes at 338. You are in the line of the center part of this storm, and this is something that you want to get inside to the lowest level of your house. I know it's summertime, it's raining, we got a lot of lightning out there, so hopefully all the kids, the pets have come inside. Do not go outside and try to take a picture of this. I guarantee you 100% it is rain wrapped. You will not be able to see where the funnel is. This is radar indicated, so if it is on the ground, you will not be able to see it. So this is the area of concern. Again, we are looking at all of you in Mullica Hill, Wrights Mill, Glassboro, Clayton, Robana, Williamstown, Victory Lakes. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this into motion. Bill Kelly, Chief Meteorologist Bill Kelly, coming in to join me right now.
Yeah, for sure.
And you've got some stuff. You got the big fancy iPad.
You got the fancy iPad. No, we're just kind of monitoring it. I'm going to put this and I'll have you hook it up there. So yeah, just kind of watching these storms and kind of following what you've been talking about here. You know, we want to just get the word out, of course. If you're watching this and you're hearing this information for the first time, you want to make sure that you get to the lowest level of your home. You want to get as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Tammy's been telling you about this and tracking it out as she's driving the radar here. We're looking specifically, it's up there on the screen. We got Salem County, we have Gloucester County, and we have parts of Camden County. Get you a little bit more position. There's Cherry Hill up there. So Philadelphia is north. Philadelphia is not in this particular warning.
Not in this. And this just popped up. Again, we saw one of these up near New York earlier, and these storms are merging together. So this could have been two storms actually merging together, a little bit of spin in the atmosphere.
Have you brought up the velocity data yet?
I had that up. I'm going to bring that back up right now, and we're going to take a look at the velocity data.
So when we were tracking the one up in New York a little bit earlier, there was a very clear spin in the atmosphere. This one down here, the one that's down into Salem County and parts of Gloucester County, just a little bit farther off to the south there. Let's take a look. Do you see much?
No, I don't. I really don't see much at all. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can switch our source on this.
What are you seeing over there, Grant?
Yeah, I'm looking at a different radar than I think what you guys are seeing, and there is a clear rotation right on the border of Gloucester County and Salem County.
Yeah,
So looking there at Seven Stars area.
What radar are you looking at on yours? Is that PHL or is that?
Let's see. I'll have to. look at that here. Give me 1 second. That's
If you want to switch back over,
that's
maybe to
probably
the
a Fort
reflectivity.
Dix.
Yeah,
Fort Dix that we're looking at.
Okay.
There we go. So I'm looking at PHL right now. I think that might be the closest.
And what we're looking at, folks, just so you know, this is a product that tells all of you, how fast the winds are going. The brighter the colors, the faster the wind speeds are. And they're also showing direction. So when you're looking at red, she talked about this radar here, PHL. That means the winds are moving away from the radar. If they're green, that means they're moving toward the radar. And so when we look for tornado, we look for some spin in the atmosphere. And we'd be looking, can you do me a favor? Can you scroll that up a little bit? Let's go down to Salem County just a little bit, off to the south here, and see what we're looking at. There's Clayton. We have... it's not a crystal clear site that we see on this particular shot, but we definitely are watching something. What you got there?
Yeah.
Well, we have some camps in South Jersey are asking parents to pick their kids up.
Oh yeah, good call. Yeah, so camps, if you have kids, that's of course summertime. Thank you, Kathy, very much. A lot of camps going on. There are, different sporting events that are happening. My family, again, has something coming up. They're asking you to go pick up your children. So we want to get that word out. If maybe it was 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock that the camp ended, they want you to come out and they want you to do that here. Let's pop the tornado warning back on the screen in terms of the polygon, if you don't mind, so we can see specifically where we are. If you're just tuning in, you're wanting to watch your program, or you heard that there was some active weather, the area that you see right here in the red, and this warning goes until what time, Tammy?
This is the 3:45.
3:45, okay.
Yeah.
Within this box, so again, to position, here's Philadelphia up to the north. We have Camden County here. We got Gloucester County and Salem County. So we're pretty much cutting the line right here into Gloucester and Salem County. There's Washington Township. It's approaching Burlington County, so approaching the AC Expressway. We're going to be watching that very closely. We're going to be bringing this up just south of the Turnpike. It's parts of the Turnpike here that we're watching.
Yep.
But this warning, if you are under this warning, your phone probably went off. You probably got the audible alert. You want to get into the lowest level of your house, get as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And also just make sure you separate yourself from any windows with this active tornado
And we're also
warning.
looking at that severe thunderstorm warning that's in place, and that is on top of it, which could have damaging winds by itself and large hail. And of course, I mean, looking at this, you can tell that perhaps this is something that could switch up and down along the line. So let's go ahead and zoom in.
And this one here is pretty interesting too. That's back near the radar itself. There's a lot of velocity data on that.
I mean,
just the winds.
we're pulling up velocity. Grant, come on over.
Yeah, are you seeing on that other radar,
on.
Grant, anything, the couplet that you were monitoring over there?
There is still a couplet there. I mean, it's right on the border of Gloucester and Salem County.
A little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah,
farther
if you guys tap into the Fort Dix radar, you can see it. Now, granted, it's not as close as the radar there at the terminal in Philly.
Right.
But still, there's a pretty good couplet right there, and moving into the West Gloucester County, Mullica Hill, South Harrison area needs to be in their safe place right now. Avis Mills, Farrell, that whole region right there.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's go back to the tornado warning and let's do a track out. This is moving, what was the speed that was moving at about 20 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour?
Yes,
what was it given?
Moving more to the east. Let's pop up here.
Okay, let's put the tornado warning back on here. And again, folks, just want to get the word out. We have a very active weather system. We're on the air right now covering this because we have an active tornado warning in Salem County, Gloucester County, and Camden County as well. But we also are dealing with a lot of flash flooding. Everywhere that you see, the blue, right. Everywhere that you see the blue is flash flooding. We've had reports of over 3 inches of rain in barely over 30 minutes. And that's going to cause roads to be completely inundated. It's going to cause creeks and streams and the rivers to come up rapidly. And in addition to it, tracking this active storm here, this tornado warning. So we'll go ahead and just kind of track this on out. If you get a few seconds there, you kind of pop that on. But it's one of those afternoons that if you don't have to travel and you don't have to go out, at least for the next couple of hours, as this line pushes its way through, the advice would be to stay put, or like we talked about earlier, depending on where you are located in our region, if you're out in South Jersey, you're maybe closer to the shore, it's not in your area yet. but you have some time. Grab your, if kids are at camps or certainly people on the beach, it's definitely time to make a call for anybody that's out near water right now and say, hey, it's time to come in because we got storms heading your way. So tracking the end of this warning there, what do we got here? Berlin, I'll step out of the way for the
we've got
timing.
Williamstown at 3:21, Victory Lakes at 3:25. We have Berlin at 3:29. Cheslehurst, you have 3:32, Winslow at 3:34, Hamilton at 3:39, and Barnard at 3:41. So as Bill is saying, get into your lowest spot. Get away from the windows. You don't need to take a picture. This is rain wrap, Bill. They're not going to see anything. You're going to see a lot of lightning. You're going to see a downpour, and you may hear the wind coming with this. This was radar indicated. Hard to tell if it has touched the ground or not. I know Grant saw a bit of a couplet, but that is
I
had looked. I didn't see anything on the latest update there. So that's something that we're going to keep an eye on that. And let's go back and let's see if we can take a look at something up here that has to do with the latest.
What do you got over there, Grant?
The couplet that they warned the storm for. Yeah. So, the rotation, guys, and we can pull up the computer that I'm looking at here, and I can show you the couplet that we're seeing.
Let's go ahead and we're going to pull up.
There it is.
All right, so this is the velocity mode right now. This is right at 3:21. So I'm going to go back in time, and you can see that really clear couplet back into northern Salem County. So that was at 3:06. You go back a little bit farther, and it's right in this time frame right here, right around 3:05, when you had that wind moving away from the radar site, wind moving through right along the turnpike there of New Jersey. And then that couplet really seemed like it was probably the best, had the best rotation there right as it moved across Gloucester County, and then into Gloucester County it continues. And that couplet really started to fall apart. So that's still the tornado warning, guys. There hasn't been any update from the National Weather Service in terms of any damage reports, any sighting confirmation, or anything like that. But like Tammy's been saying, the rain wrap nature of this, it would be hard to see. It's almost like after the fact, if you got damage, then that would be the confirmation.
And then you go out and they say, oh, that was rotating or
Let's
not.
pop up Weather 3 again, because now here is the couplet that Grant was talking about. So Bill, you can explain the inbound, the outbound winds, and why we have rotation there that was seen by the radar.
Yeah, so this radar here, we're looking at we're looking at Fort Dix on this one.
We are looking at Fort
correct?
Dix, yes.
Okay, so what we're looking at is a radar that is off to the east here, and the colors, if you see green, that means the winds are moving toward the radar. So the radar's out over here, you got the green. Now the red means that the winds are moving opposite. And whenever you have a line of storms that's moving one direction, you're going to see a similar color palette, whether it's brighter green, lighter shade of green, depending on how fast these winds are moving. But as Justin, thank you, Justin, zooms in on this particular thing, what we're looking at is Tammy's kind of driving that around. There is rotation here because the storm itself is moving one direction. And, and kind of get you position here, you got Route 40, okay? You're gonna bring it up here. You have 295 and you have the Parkway or the Turnpike up here. So we're positioned right on that Gloucester Salem County line. And this is what they were focused in on, where you have winds within the storm. Even though the whole thing is pushing forward, there are some winds here that are moving back the opposite direction because, again, the radar is off to the east. And
now,
when we track this one out,
it's kind of broken down.
It is starting to break it.
It's not as impressive as it was.
Is this here the most recent image?
That is the most recent image. And you would go down generally by 7 stars into that area. That's where you would see the most motion with this. But at this point, not a whole lot. So hopefully this is beginning to kind of fall apart, and it's something maybe until 3:45. So we still have another 20 minutes on this warning.
And the last couple of warnings that we've had with our local National Weather Service, and I said this on the air, gave them a shout out. And if you want to just give a track on that particular where you're seeing that couplet, let's track that out over the next 30, 45 minutes. They've done a really great job recently, or they do a great job often, but in saying, okay, the threat's over, so therefore let's pull the warning down. So they haven't at this point. We still have that tornado warning that's up right now for another 20 minutes until 3:45 on this one here.
Here's the track off of that couplet, which has actually weakened.
Yeah, let me step back here just a little bit. Grant, what you got?
So they didn't update that tornado like like you were saying, Bill, they did update it. They canceled the tornado warning now for Camden County.
Great.
So they decided to not continue it into Camden County like it was, but it also now continues for central and southern Gloucester County.
Okay, so they're still seeing a little bit of that rotation there that they're going to say.
So we're going to go ahead and update where this warning is and who this includes. And this is going to go till 3:45. So Glassboro, Williamstown, Upper Pittsgrove, and those are the areas right now, the main areas.
Sure.
I'll put another track on that so we can actually see where that is going, and then we'll go back to the radar. So,
and I also just want to bring up quickly, if you're watching and you're just kind of getting the information, I know there's a lot of colors on this screen. The red polygon that you see here is the active tornado warning. Anywhere within that box, you mentioned Glassboro is certainly in the box there. It's pushing over toward Burlington County. We'll see if they extend that out. The shade of orange here is a severe thunderstorm warning. So independent of the localized tornado warning that the National Weather Service has issued, and I'll try to step away from these city times for you.
Kind of back up so you can see all the warnings, because we have a tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning, and then all the blue, Bill, that is the flash flooding, which is equally as bad for the entire area.
Yeah, I sent out just a little while ago some of the reports, and we've seen some roads shut down. I know I-78 had a lane shut down. We saw 2.8 inches of rain in Delco over the course of an hour. So that there's just a ton going on now, including, of course, this tornado warning that is then to South Jersey, connected to this long line of storms that will impact all of you. You're not all going to be under a tornado warning, certainly, but you are going to be dealing with the lightning. We're going to be dealing with very, very heavy rain, flooding rain, no doubt about it. And then in this localized spin that could potentially cause a tornado warning and or a tornado, of course, that is verified at some later time. But just know that it also has the potential to be a tornado, drop and lift rather quickly. We had that scenario a few weeks ago.
And this is radar indicated. If you look at a line like this where you have a number of indentations, and especially if you're looking at the front of a line, this could be something called a QLCS. This means that it is a type of tornado, but it can bounce up and down the line. And so this could possibly be happening a little bit, although you see the area that they're kind of sticking to, but I do see other areas where we could actually have perhaps a hook that is forming. Yeah,
like this one up near, is it Burlington County or Ocean County? This one up to the north, and we were looking at the velocity product, it seemed like it was a little bit bright as well. But for now, until 3:45, they're keeping it up for Salem and Gloucester County. As Grant just told you, the update came in from the National Weather Service that they dropped it out of.
Now here it is again. This is up to date. You can see it's actually beginning to form a little bit better. We're beginning to see that rotation tighten up a bit.
Right. And this is what we're looking at here. We're back into, if you widen this out, we're in Camden County here, correct?
Yes.
So right on the border here of Gloucester County, making its way across, moving from the west to the east at approximately, what did they track it in at, about 30 miles per hour?
Yes.
I haven't tracked that.
About 20 to 30 miles an hour this is moving. And you can quite clearly see that couplet right now, right on the border of Gloucester and Camden County right there.
So people going back to and forth, what'd you say? Salem,
I'm sorry, Salem and Gloucester, yes.
Yeah, of course, Camden County up there. Anybody that might be traveling on any of these highways, now's a good time to give them a call. Hey, why don't you pull on over, grab a bite to eat, find a restaurant, something like that. Not just in the tornado warned area, because we have a pretty significant line of storms that's bringing frequent lightning. It's also bringing very strong winds as well as extremely heavy rain. The kind of rain that you're most likely going to be going at most 10 miles an hour down the road safely. I mean, that heavy, where you just can't see, your windshield wipers are full blast and you cannot see out the window. And that's what all this is here. Rainfall rates checking in at 1 to 3 inches per hour, and some parts even more than that. It's hard to put into words how much water that is and how heavy that is and how dangerous it is to be driving around. But that's our bigger story. We have the tornado warning right now, but our bigger story, in my opinion, is the flooding and how widespread that is going to be for the next couple of hours.
Now look at the orange box. I'm going to go ahead and switch over so you can focus on that, because actually that is a severe thunderstorm warning that extends into Salem County, all the way up into Gloucester County, and even into Camden County. And that is where we could be having not only very heavy rain, but we could be having a little bit of rotation, large hail, and damaging wind gusts. That's a big deal with this. When they go hand in hand like that, when you got a tornado warning and a severe thunderstorm warning that is continuing on, that means that entire area is in danger of that.
Yeah, tree damage, going to be a big problem out there in many spots.
Power
outages for sure.
It's rain wrapped too. I want to keep pointing that out. We don't want anybody going outside. Please don't go outside.
Yeah, well, that's never a good idea at any time,
No,
right?
but people try.
They do. They try, and you think, oh, tornado warning. Let me go see what I can see. And well, you will not see anything, even if there is a tornado. You will not see it, and that's the real danger part. It's just going to be dumping rain, and suddenly there'll be something on you like that.
Now we have had wind gusts about 60 miles an hour associated with this, and I believe we have had some larger hail with this as well coming down.
Yeah,
so
we're driving. Where are we at there? Is that 95?
This is up and down right here. This is up and down the I-95 right here. I'll go ahead and this activity is actually a little.
Oh, sorry.
bit
I should be more clear. I'm looking at the camera that we have off of you and I out over here.
Yeah.
That is Mobile Track. Is that right? Is that our mobile weather watcher out there driving around? It looks like a portion of 95, but I haven't given information as to where they are specifically.
Right.
But they're in a part right now that's not raining anywhere near as heavily as it has been raining.
This is Route 42.
Thank you.
That's Route 42.
The 42 freeway heading up that way, where we've really seen some heavy rain come down in spots. But there's a little bit of a lull here up too, depending on, they're probably here just near the city in the Jersey side, obviously.
Now there's still storms that are coming out of Delaware, and we have to be concerned with them to the south. You can see them. They're beginning to cross the bay. They're staying intact, and they're at the southern end of this line of storms. So, we're concerned about more activity taking place there, along with the flooding that is north of that area already.
Sure. Hey, Grant, any update from the National Weather Service in terms of what they're going to do with this warning here over the next 15 minutes? We were looking at that couplet. We're not seeing anything that's supercharged, but what do you...
That couple is right in the county line, between Gloucester and Salem County. Like Tammy mentioned, it is starting to power up a little bit more. Sure. It's not as impressive as it was earlier on, but there's still certainly some rotation there. Avis Mills, Glassboro. I think if you're right in that area, you want to be in your safe place.
So I'll tell you what, Tim, if you want to just stop the radar, let's leave it on this product here, and let's do a track from this point forward. Let's take this out, extend it out over the next, however long, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. There's Glassboro. If you guys are here, we definitely want you to take this serious. Wrights Mill, and she's extending this out just over basically the next 10 minutes or so.
Almost until it's going to expire at 3:45.
So you got
right
about
now.
10 minutes here in Glassboro. You got 3:38 for Elk, New Freedom at 3:44, Wrights Mill at 3:35, Pine Tavern essentially right now we have 3:32 on our clock. We also like to say that you can be part of the story. You can help out. If you're somebody that knows anybody in these places, please help. Give them a call. Maybe they're not aware that there's a tornado warning. They don't know that this potentially strong storm is heading their way. Give them a ring. Hey, just get in your center part of your house. If you don't have a basement, if you got a basement, get in the basement. So obviously it's the safest place to be. You want to separate you and outside with as many walls as you can to provide some extra protection from things that get thrown around in the tornado. It's not just the winds that are dangerous. They can be, but it's the stuff that the tornado picks up, and that's what gets whipped around. The bigger the tornado, the bigger the items can be whipped around. The more walls you have between you and the outside as possible, that is going to be the safest place. And that's why we always encourage you to get downstairs underground. If you have a basement, not all of you do, totally understand that. Just keep that in mind. A center room, many walls, more walls will equal more protection for you. I can't emphasize enough, one of the most unsafe places to be is in a mobile home or in a vehicle, something that is not anchored to the ground. I mean, you would think, hey, I'm in a shelter. I'm completely surrounded. It's actually quite dangerous to be in any of those places.
Now, I've tracked this back out, so you can take a look all the way out to 402 in Winslow. So if this stays intact, that's where it's going. Waterford at 356, Victory Lakes at 353, Winslow at 402. I also want to point out the amount of lightning. I turned that on because this is a big deal. We're going to have a lot of things struck, trees, houses. Again, you don't want to be anywhere around lightning at all outside, but you can see right now the number of lightning strikes has been incredible. A new flash flood warning, and that is actually down into Virginia. In fact, the entire mid-Atlantic is just covered with this giant flash flood area. But look at the amount of lightning that we have taking place.
I want to piggyback on that point because it was it last week or the week prior in Ocean County? They're out near Six Flags where somebody was struck, and it was a fatal strike around the area when they were out at a archery camp with kids. The storm was miles away, 4 miles away. In fact, there was a lightning strike per our radar that was not even attached to the rain right there. And that was just such an unfortunate situation. Tammy mentioned all the lightning strikes. Each one of these emblems on the map is a cloud to ground lightning strike just in the last 15
not
minutes.
Cloud to cloud, not cloud to air. I got to tell you, piggybacking on you, lightning can strike 10 miles away. I know this family member struck and killed by lightning.
No
so
kidding.
I will tell you, yes, it can. So even if the sky is clear over you, if there's a storm, it's a 30-minute rule.
Yeah.
Do not go outside until you've not seen a flash of lightning or heard a boom of thunder for at least 30 minutes. And that is when you can figure that it is a little bit safe. But lightning, as you were talking about, it was a person struck, but all those people injured. What happens? And this happens on golf courses. Strikes one point and it spreads out like spokes on a wheel. And if you are standing on one of those spokes on the ground, even if you're 20 feet away, you could go down and be seriously injured by that. So that's the thing people don't realize. They just think, oh, it just strikes one spot. It does not. It spreads out.
And it's not classifiably severe. We could have thousands and thousands of strikes. Now, oftentimes that means there is a severe thunderstorm, but by itself, there's no rank for a lightning warning type thing. So we just want to get that word out because it is just so important, and there's a lot of lightning with this. So I know when it's pouring rain, most people aren't out and about, but it is summer. I know it's a hot day, but there are folks that are out on the golf course right now, inevitably, no question, where it hasn't started raining yet. There are folks out on bodies of water, whether it's a lake or down the shore.
Dangerous spot to be.
Oh, absolutely. Water parks. People are out at, like Funplex or any of these types of places. These are different reports coming in from the National Weather Service. You seeing anything there?
Let me go back to the tornado warning. I have a feeling maybe, but it's still going.
Yeah, they're still keeping that for another
That is
10
until
minutes.
3:45. Yeah, and the thing is this storm is going to continue. I pulled back up the couplet so you could take a look at that, Bill, and explain to people. Again, it's not as strong as it once was, but it is still sticking together.
And when you have that loop that you just did, you can kind of see it a little bit more. You can actually see that spin as it's moving. And once again, what we look at, and it's not the good news is it's not a classic signature. When we see a classic signature, that means that there's a much greater chance that there is a tornado on the ground. So it's not classic, but it definitely is showing that rotation right here. And that is that spin that we see. So you see the visual spin as this radar product is looping around. But also the colors themselves tell you that there is a difference in the wind direction between the green and the red right there. And that was when it was the clearest, right there.
Right there. And that was at about 3 o'clock, just
that's when they
kicked off.
Yeah, that's when they issued, because they saw that, and I agree with that call. That's a pretty decent look at, hey, there's definitely some spin, and it's a tighter spin. And then as you went out in time, you saw that kind of wrapped around and it kind of fizzled out, for lack of a better word.
And again, we have no confirmation that it's on the ground. It was a radar indicated, and the radar is pretty good at picking up spin in the atmosphere, but did it touch down? Did it skip? Was it down far enough to grab onto trees?
Sure.
That's something we'll have to wait to see, but we don't have any visual confirmation. Of course, you wouldn't see it anyway. It's rain wrapped.
And that's why we jump on the air. Whenever there's tornado warnings, as you well know, we jump on the air, we tell you about them. If you want to pop that warning up one more time, I'm sure there are folks that are just joining us. Here is where it is. It is set at this point to be up until 3:45 p.m. So we're talking pretty much right on the Salem-Gloucester County line. This area right in here, including Glassboro, right? Where it's
Avis
right
Mills,
there,
Glassboro, Wrights Mill, Monroeville, Clayton headed in your direction. They have not extended this out.
No, they have not. And based on what I see, I think it's one of those calls. We'll have to see what they end up doing. I don't think it's crystal clear either way to extend it or to let it expire. But either way, there's a very active weather system that's out with the strong winds, some rotation on this, and really the only difference between a strong straight line wind and a strong tornado is the fact that the tornado has rotating winds, right? The straight line is exactly that, in one direction.
Can be equally dangerous. You can have straight line winds that can do far more damage, so that's why this whole thing is something you have to take very seriously. So that whole gold box where we could have damaging winds is what you need to take seriously. This is just where the rotation possibly is. I took it out again to about 353. New Brooklyn at 353, Victory Lakes at 351, Williamstown at 349. So it is moving across. Let me put back up the radar.
Yeah, please do. Well, we're going to watch. You see the Burlington County line up over here as well, and this whole thing is making that direction. Atlantic County, it's going to be walking on your line, as well as Cape May, or Cumberland, I should say, first.
Now, it's going into pretty pristine air too, because nothing has been touched down the shore. You have a little bit of rain, but take a look at this. It is pretty much clear
Yeah.
ahead of this. So there's a little bit of rain. Will that
all over
neutralize
here. Right.
that?
There's still going to be a lot of energy here, as I mentioned. Atlantic County, Cape May County, Cumberland County. We'll keep a watch on and see at minimum, at absolute minimum, you're going to be dealing with flooding rain. I mean, the flash flooding around the area is just, it's remarkable how many areas have seen flash flooding and widespread flash flooding. Tremendous amounts of water that's going to take time to wash out.
I'll take the radar off in just a minute, but I want you to actually address for everybody what's going on with the storms that are moving now through Maryland, and they will be moving through Delaware. Look at southern Delaware, completely clear.
Yeah.
That is pristine atmosphere for these to fire up, and they will move across to South Jersey and the shore. So we still have a line, several lines of storms off to the west that are going to affect parts of the area. Not to mention this extends all the way up to New York. And those flash flood warnings, I'm going to go ahead and put that up for you here so you can talk about the fact that 3 inches an hour in some places. Yeah, some people are flooding right now, and the roads are flooding pretty badly in places. In fact, do we have any of the video, maybe a camera that we can put up showing?
Yeah, there it is.
So this is 55 south headed towards Glassboro. So you still have that very steady rain coming down right there, and that's very close to where the tornado warning is. Again, rain wrap. Could you see a funnel in that? I couldn't.
Yeah, and that's even not one of the heavier areas either. I mean, the fact that we can see the road in front of the normal weather watch there is astounding, because there are some, when it rolled through the city and it was raining over the building,
you couldn't see the
you couldn't see anything. In fact, I just did a quick Instagram live and showed it, and you could hardly see the buildings, and we're talking blocks, not miles. And they're moving at a decent speed there too. So that tells you the rain at that point is not quite as heavy.
Now you look at the lightning too, and it's more congregated around where the center of the storms are. So you can see where the flood warnings are. That's pretty much where the heavy rain has stopped for now. I'll go ahead and put that in motion for you.
So to kind of widen this out and talk about what we're looking at, this first wave that's moving through, that's bringing a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings, that tornado warning that we're on the air covering for you, is primarily due to the moisture-rich atmosphere. There's just a ton of moisture for the atmosphere to work with. Now, as Grant showed you earlier when he was on our stream, the temperature went from what, like 95 to 75, just like, didn't I see you show 75 feels like temperature or something like that a little in Philadelphia? I mean, it just went like that, so it takes some of that energy with it. But behind it, we have more showers and storms that are going to push through, so the flooding risk is going to remain for hours, right? I mean,
look at the storms just cleared the Lehigh Valley, and we still have storms ongoing in Chester, Delaware County, Bucks, Montgomery, of course, Philadelphia headed into Delaware and into South Jersey. So all of the look at the intense storms that are still to come.
Yeah, sure.
So the flooding, even if it starts to recede, is going to actually pick up again. And again, what do we always say? Turn around, don't drown.
Right, and there's going to be more. Grant, what you got there? You got.
National Weather Service saying they're going to expire this morning.
They are going
at 3:45. But I still think there's that rotation in the storm. Yeah. So they very well could issue a new warning depending on how it evolves over the next 10 minutes or so.
Right. Yeah. Did I see they extended it till 3:50? Am I seeing that right? Did that go up by 5 minutes?
Let me go back.
It looks like they.
It says it will expire at 3:45.
Yeah, interesting. Where that says 50. Yeah. So what we'll do, folks, is we'll just stay on for a couple minutes here. Just let that expire. See what they do. We, of course, have our newscast, as we do every day, at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. We're on our stream. So we're going to be covering this because this is one part of the story. This individual part with the tornado warning is why the weather team's on.
And we're going to be staying on here live until 4 o'clock when the news starts, not just because of the tornado warning, but because of the flooding. And that was the big story today. The heat is gone. All the moisture in the atmosphere. Rarely do we get put into a level 3 out of 4 risk for flash flooding. And that was today, our entire area in that. So,
and like you said, there's more to come as well. I mean, there's more flooding, and when you get that much water over an area, it's got to run, like I said, over a neighborhood, into the streets, then into the creek, then into the streams, and then into the river, and then all the way eventually down into the Delaware Bay and out in the ocean. That takes time.
It does.
So flooding, it can last for hours and hours after the storms have gone, and since there's more to come, that'll be interesting.
It's pretty much our entire area. I mean, all of southeastern Pennsylvania, except for Chester County. Somehow you were fortunate to not be, but you got more storms coming. And then South Jersey, not really included in it yet, other than parts of Camden and Burlington County and over into the nearby I-95 nearby parts of Gloucester and Salem. So all of South Jersey, I think, is going to be primed for this to happen as these storms move through. But again, over our heads, that column, they call them P-watts, it's precipitable water. There's 3 inches in that alone. So you wring it out and then you refill it. It's like a glass. You dump it out and you fill the glass again and it just keeps going.
Yeah, the QLCS, the P-watts, she's talking our language here in meteorology.
No, I'm not going to be complicated, but it's true, because that's what we look at. When we're looking at, we look at how much is there in the atmosphere. Grant and I were talking yesterday about this, looking at this going, oh my gosh, this could be 6 inches of rain for some places with this much in the atmosphere because of the heat and the humidity, and every single heat wave has been broken by severe storms like this with flash flooding that we have had this summer, all 5 of them.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's officially 3:45. The tornado warning just dropped off the map, as you saw. As Grant mentioned, they're going to expire that at 3:45, and they have. Let's send it on over to Natasha and Siafa.
All right, Bill, Tammy, and Grant there in the Weather Center there in the virtual studio. Thank you so much. Good afternoon to you, everyone. I'm Natasha Brown.
And I'm Siafa Lewis, joining you as this severe weather continues to move through the Delaware Valley. Very, very busy and active weather system right now.
Yeah, an active weather system indeed. So we're going to take you through a series of videos that we have been getting into us. Let's take a look at some of the video coming into our newsroom right now of these storms as they were moving through Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania. Lots of rain there. You see the umbrellas and just the heavy rain there in Montgomery County. Lancaster Avenue, sheets of rain, flooding on the roadways as well. So folks are being asked to just be careful if you get into one of these heavy rain situations. You see those wipers are going, Siafa, and you know how quickly flash flooding can happen. So you really want to just know your surroundings and just be careful.
And I was actually caught in this storm. I drove through this getting to work this afternoon. This is video from the Art Museum area. Again, you see that rain and the water pooling in all different areas as well. Taking a look now at Pennsylvania Avenue in the city, I believe, right? Next video, you see some lightning as well.
Yeah,
Obviously,
lots of lightning. You heard the thunder earlier, yeah.
If you hear that thunder, you want to get indoors. You do not want to take the risk if you do not have to, of course. Also, driving in these conditions, I mean, I could not drive faster than 39 miles an hour. There are no cars in front of me, and I could barely see,
right?
10 feet in front of me.
Blinding,
and the windshield
rain.
Wipers cannot keep up with the rain when it's coming down that quickly. And then also lots of, as I mentioned, lots of pulling puddles of water on the roads. I was on Admiral Wilson Boulevard. Look at that's right.
Yeah, and this is right outside of our studios here. This is Hamilton Street, and we were looking out the window, many of us in the newsroom, just watching this come down as folks were trying to scurry to get to cover or trying to hold on to those umbrellas because it got a bit windy. You could see how quickly the rain started coming down, and also just ponding a bit on the roadway there on Hamilton Street.
And that's not even that bad, but on Admiral Wilson Boulevard, I mean, everybody had to move over to the fast lane because of all of the water in the right lane. And again, we warn all the time, if you're not confident that you can drive through it, it's not worth getting stuck in it.
Turn around, don't drown. We always hear our meteorologist telling us that. So take a look at what it looks like right now, though, in Center City, Philadelphia. A far cry from what it looked like just about an hour or so ago. Things have really cleared out in the city, but you can still see those ominous clouds lingering.
A very, very fast moving system, as you can see, almost like it didn't happen. Looking at that video right now, it looks so peaceful and tranquil. There is some video I was able to capture on my way in. This is me on Route 70 here in Cherry Hill, just past 295. This is not that bad, but when it started,
That's when it was in. It was blinding at that point.
Really,
so it was
really
just,
bad.
you really had to start creeping in that, I can only imagine. We know that lots of viewers have been sending us, and lots of our photographers who were fanned out across the Delaware Valley were sending us video from where they were. Again, this is your video, Siafa. Let's take a look. 55 south heading toward Glassboro. We know that that was one of the areas that had the tornado warning in effect up until 3:45. So just about 3 minutes ago, that expired. And Bill, Grant, and Tammy were talking us through that situation. But this is manageable. But again, there was a tornado warning in that Glassboro area up until 3:45 this afternoon. So we're going to.
I recognize that. That's my alma mater, Rowan University, there on Main Street, I believe, in Rowan University, driving through the campus. Again, in this video, not that bad. That may be the conditions right now, as we showed you Center City, and a lot of the rain has subsided where we are here in Philadelphia.
Yeah, we're going to get back into meteorologist Tammy Souza to check on conditions right now. Again, Tammy, we know that tornado warning for parts of Glassboro and Gloucester County, that area has expired, but we're still looking at lots of activity on the map there behind you.
you know, the tornado warning has expired. Now, that was a radar indicated. We don't know if it touched down anywhere. We won't have information on that for hours or perhaps not even until tomorrow. The big story is the blue boxes. It is the flooding going on right now. Now, this is the storm system. Take a look at it. There's even a little bit more on the backside that's going to slide through and it looks like affect possibly Philadelphia and South Jersey. This is moving to the east and then ever so slightly to the north. But look at everything to the south, yet to come through Delaware and move into South Jersey. So we have hours ahead of us with this storm system that's going to be coming through. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this into motion so you can just see generally what's gone on for the last 2 hours. And now we have another flash flood warning. This is for all of you in Salem County. So knowing that, I'm going to go ahead and put up our flash flood warnings. And again, that is the big story. Yes, we could get a severe thunderstorm. We could get some gusty damaging winds. Yes, we could have a brief tornado. And we did have a tornado warning. But take a look at this. All these blue boxes are flash flood warnings. Now, this encompasses a huge piece of real estate. This is much of southeastern Pennsylvania. This does include Philadelphia. This now moves into Salem County. You're looking at Newcastle County all the way across Camden, Gloucester, and Burlington counties. And we're looking at all of you in Mercer County close to the I-95. And that's because this is the area where we have seen up to 3 inches an hour falling. Our concern is that it falls so fast it has nowhere to go. The ground is still saturated. We have no drought conditions anywhere, so there is no really truly dry ground to pick this up. As hot as it's been, this is going to run off quickly, and we have a number of roads and areas that are flooded, and we've been telling you about that. And of course, we'll have a full wrap up on all of that coming up at 4 o'clock. Now, this is the storm right here that we have been so concerned with, and this is the one that actually had the tornado warning on it. Now, what you're seeing is the most recent of the flash flood warnings, and that's why that's popped up from Newcastle over to Salem. But this is the storm right here, and it's going to continue to move off to the east. Will there be another warning on it? Hard to say. It did look like the couplet, the gate-to-gate shear, the rotation, the winds passing each other had sort of fallen apart. Now this is, I'm sorry, where are we looking at? 322 west towards Glassboro. Now we still see the rain coming down. Look at that. It's not coming down as heavily as it was. I mean, we had buckets of rain. You wouldn't have barely been able to see the car in front of you. Windshield wipers are going, but they're not going on high speed like they were. So we're starting to see things calm down, but I do think we're going to get another round of this coming through, maybe not quite as intense as this one, but you're going to have to be prepared for all of that to go on. Let me go ahead and do our futurecast. I want to put this into motion so that you can actually see kind of an idea of what is going to happen with all of this over the next several hours. And our forecast models are actually verifying beautifully. I mean, they're really showing where the bulk of all of this is up and down the I-95 and beginning to move into South Jersey. So this gives you an idea, a snapshot of where it will be. Are these cells exactly where the rain is or going to be? No, they could be off by a few miles, but this gives you an idea of the timing of what is going to be moving through your area. So here we are. We're going to be looking at from now all the way up to about 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock, and this absolutely lines up with what we're seeing. This huge amount of rain moving into southern Delaware where the air is pristine. You have not seen any storms. You have not had anything go on. So that air is primed. I would not be surprised to see a number of warnings, severe thunderstorm. Hopefully not, but possibly a tornado warning in southern Delaware because you have got the conditions there and you see several cells that are emerging. You see the rest of this moving into South Jersey and you start to see it clearing out up here to the north. The cold front that is driving all of this still well to the north and the west of us. Let's go ahead. Let's move ahead to 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. A lot of drying going across the area. We see that heavy rain down toward Atlantic County, Cape May County. A little bit of a break for you in Delaware, but more off to the west. Look at that coming out of Maryland. We have several cells that are going to make their way through. And this cell that you see right here, this may lift far enough north to clip part of Philadelphia, but a lot of this is going to direct itself over South Jersey. Let's move ahead. Here we go. Now we're into about 9 o'clock. Now again, this is a forecast model, so some of this could be a little further north, but you see a lot of the activity is beginning to drop south. because the front is approaching and it is forcing it southward. It's not going to let it go up to the north past the front. So as the front comes through, it's going to start to dry things out. Things will calm down. We're going to move ahead now. Here we go. We're at 10:30. We do have some post-frontal activity. So we may see a few showers on the back side of this. Still some activity moving through. So tonight, don't be surprised by a clap of thunder, maybe some rain coming through. And then look at this. The front moves through and we start to dry out. You're going to wake up to a refreshing 66 degrees tomorrow. We'll see the humidity really tapering off and the temperature as well. You're going to be lucky to make it in the low and mid 70s for tomorrow. And look at all the clearing that's going to be headed our way. So a little bit of cloud cover and maybe a sprinkle in the morning, but that's what we're really going to be keeping a close eye on. Now we're coming up pretty close to 4 o'clock, and at 4 o'clock we're going to be joining our full newscast. We have full team coverage. Grant and Bill are going to be here. They're going to walk you through everything that has happened and everything that is going to go on so you can plan and prepare. And of course we have reporters in the field. We have so many cameras I can't count, and we have time lapses to show you all the storm as it moves through your neighborhood. We're going to go back up. I want to show you what's going on right here with the storm making its way through the area, and we are going to be looking again at what's happening here in the last 30 minutes. It's just taking a second for all of that to load. And a minute from now, we're going to have our newscast beginning, so you'll get the latest on what's going on. Here's a look at it. The blue, that is our latest flash flood warning. So just know that's why that one is highlighted. And here's a look at the storm that actually had that tornado warning on it. And over the last 30 minutes, it has really kind of weakened. You can see the bright colors have weakened. I will tell you, the intense lightning is still out there. So if you're anywhere near a storm, that intense lightning is out there. You're not going to capture anything. No fancy clouds, no tornado. That lightning is dangerous. Everything is rain wrapped. And the final thing I want to go back and show you is, again, these are all of our flash flood warnings. So don't go out in your car. If you're out in your car and you see ponding and you're not sure how deep it is, turn around, don't drown. About 18 inches of water can float most cars away. We don't want you floating into a ditch or anything and turning upside down. We don't want your car stalling. It will ruin your car. And we don't want you going out near any creek beds. Kids, if you're listening, stay away, because when they're saturated, they can crumble and you don't want to be tumbling into fast moving water. So a lot of flooding taking place. This will taper off as the evening wears on, but if you don't have to go out, don't. And if you know a loved one that's coming home, maybe text them. If they're driving, you don't want to call them on the phone, but let them know or catch them before they leave that there are a lot of flooded roadways and they really need to take a look at what's open and what isn't. And stuff could be closing instantly. So you need to know that. We're going to be coming up on our newscast here, and of course we're going to have full coverage for you. We have Siafa and Natasha in the newsroom. We also have Grant and Bill. They're going to pop in. They're going to take over, and they have got complete details as to what you can expect. And I know, guys, Natasha, Siafa, you have got all the big stories surrounding what has gone on for the last 3 hours.
Yeah, Tammy, thank you so much for keeping us abreast of what's been happening over the last hour or more. Let's take you back, Siafa. I know you drove through this, so we know you have firsthand knowledge of just how bad it was out there. Let's take you back, though, to South Philadelphia and the rain that was coming down steadily, fast and furiously there. This is on Crawford Street at Washington Avenue. Again, this was just about an hour ago, and you can see how quickly it ponds on the road. So that's why flash flooding is the biggest concern in a situation like this.